Alright, hello and welcome. Oh, my YouTube name is Hanky Bilford, but this is mostly for the Cascadia Now Facebook page, so my name is good. We'll go with that. This is a game called Hearts of Iron 3. It's a strategy game where you try to... It's set in World War II. You either try to take over the world, or you pick a country. Any country. You can pick the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France, the UK, Ireland, the Scandinavian countries, Finland. You can even pick Luxembourg. I don't think you can pick Liechtenstein. I'd try. You can even play as Luxembourg if you wanted. But anyways, you pick them. You pick any of these countries, and you align yourself with one of three parties. The Communists, which is like the Soviets, and I think Communist China's in here too. Or you can pick the Axis powers with Germany, or you can pick the Allied powers with the United Kingdom, and try to, or you can pick any of these just other random countries like Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and you align yourself with any of the three parties, and you just hope that your party wins. Not party, the powers. Yes, you can play as America and Canada, but what I thought this game was missing was I thought we needed to be able to make our own country. That's what the game was really missing. And as such, I decided, or I looked up mods and how to modify the game, because Australia. I looked up how to modify the game, and I created the Cascadian country. My theory behind this, history-wise, what would have happened if the Pig War had turned into a big war that led to us deciding to become totally independent? And that's what I decided to go with. If Oregon country had decided to be its own place, and obviously the USA took some of Oregon country, and Canada took some, but that's the story I'm going with. You know, Oregon country became its own thing, and it later became Cascadia. So, you can pick Cascadia from any of these points. The start in 1936, all the way to when Germany was starting to take over, and Germany started to lose towards the end. You can pick anywhere. In terms of politics in Cascadia, I picked the political system from Canada because it was easier for the purposes of getting the mod working to just borrow a political system. So it borrows the Canadian head of state, John Barron, whatever his name was, and it borrows their political parties, the market liberal, all that. So pretty much all it really is, it's Canada with these territories, is what it really is. It's even got our unit spawning over in Ottawa, one unit, which is something I'd like some of you guys to help me fix, is figure out how to get this unit to spawn over here. If there's anyone out there that knows better about modding Hearts of Iron. I decided to be a little more of a realist on this. I don't think that if and when Cascadia happens, I don't think that we're gonna take part of the Panhandle. I really don't. I think that rather than being a bioregional secession, I think it would just mostly be the state of Washington or whatever counties want to join. And then same with Oregon, and I think there's actually a statute in Vancouver, or in Canada, that if the province wants to secede peacefully, I think they're allowed to do that. I think I read that somewhere. But yeah, in terms of territories, it goes down as far as Crescent City to Weed to Clear Lake, and then it's just kind of rocky up along the way. Lakeview is still part of the U.S. Warner Lake, Steens. Mackenzie's part of the U.S., but Lake Abert is part of Cascadia. Strawberry Mountain's USA. But Ukiah and Caldwell are part of Cascadia, but Twin Falls and the Matterhorn are part of the USA. Boise's part of the U.S., but Grand Forks is Cascadia. Weiser is the U.S. Helena's the U.S., and Browning is the U.S. But we have Libby, Kellogg, and Craigmont. So we are taking part of Idaho. And I apologize if I wasn't sure how far to go down on taking the Oregon coast, because I'm going to straight up say it. I don't think I've ever, which is kind of sad, I live in up around Tacoma. I live in Gig Harbor, which doesn't exist on the map here, sadly. But I don't know how far down I was supposed to go. I don't think we should take part of California. I just don't feel that they're part of us. You know, little... Yeah, and then it goes as far as Campbell Island up. And I know we should probably take more of Vancouver, but it was a pain in the ass, honestly, to what I had to do to get all these territories is I had to go through and list as far as I wanted. I had to list every single territory, and I had to write it down on a sheet of paper I have somewhere around my room, and then I had to go into the list and actually go into the system files and each file one by one, realign them to Cascadia, and that was just a pain. I got it done, but it was hard. So, and by the time I got to that, I was just so tired of changing places over. I just gave up. We should have a little more of Vancouver, but it is what it is, and you can't complain. I got a mod working. Issues I'm having is, like I said, this is a US unit that's spawning in Cascadia. You know, I want to figure out how to get him to spawn elsewhere, like, I don't know, in San Francisco, or, I don't know, have him up in Boise even. I'd be fine with that. And getting our Cascadian unit to spawn up along here. And our ships, too. They're over by Halifax. And the U.S. planes spawn here. Another thing I want to try to get done is making our political system actually our own. I don't know who would take over. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say because we didn't actually have a leader in Cascadia. If this was like Civilization, we were just to pick a historical leader, I could say, you know, Chief South, Chief Seattle, if you don't know that. If it was modern, I would just say, you know, Brandon Letzinger, who's one of the leaders of the Cascadian Now party. Or, we're not a party yet, but the leader of the Cascadian movement. I'd have Brandon, you know, be the leader, but this is in the 40s, so if anyone can come up with an idea of who you think should be the leader, and same with generals for the units, you know, the units need leaders, and I'd like to have some Cascadian leaders in there as opposed to Canadian ones. You know, and even the Canadian divisions, that's what our units are called in this mod, and I'd like to figure out what we'd call those. We'd call our brigades, our units, all that. You know, I'm cool with Seattle HQ for the Seattle theater. I'd like to figure out how to get the Boeing units to be a part of Cascadia and not part of Tacoma, because Boeing's Seattle. Yeah, that's what I'd like to work on with this. On a side note, on Cascadia, since I know a lot of you people are watching this, hopefully everyone's watching this. I think we should organize a protest. Real talk, not in the game. I think the Cascadian movement needs to start gaining a little more ground. I think we should have a protest for more rights in Cascadia of I'm trying to think of the words. God, my mind's drawing blanks. More rights for the Cascadian nation, us being able to write our own laws. A little autonomy, that's what I'm looking for. A protest for Cascadian autonomy. I think we should have one of those coming up, and hopefully if the news covers it, we can get a little more attention to the Cascadian independence. And who knows, maybe we can start to get a little more traction that way. Because it's nice to be able to talk about a peaceful referendum and all that. I just don't think it's going to happen. A peaceful referendum without getting a couple protests trying to at least get our name out there. But yeah, this is a mod in progress. It is what it is. I don't have the actual files extracted. I don't have them on an individual download spot. If anyone would like the files, feel free to Facebook message me or email me. I'll be happy to try to pull the files out of my game and then send them to you if you would be interested in playing this. Eventually I'd like to get a download going somewhere, but I want to get it a little more stable before I do so. You know, have our own leaders and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's Cascadia. Diplomatically, we're up along with the Allied powers, which is right where I want to be. You know, it'd be fun to be Axis and see what a fascist Cascadia would be like, but you know, I wanted to keep this as realistic as possible. Issue I'm having is, and I didn't program this, Cascadia seems to have claims on the USA, and I don't quite get why. But I would think it'd be the other way around, where the USA would have claims on Cascadia. But I can't do anything about that. So, yeah, and in terms of politics, it's basically just, it's Canada, really. There's lots of liberals. Yeah. So, what's going on? Another issue I have is the energy output isn't quite where I'd like it to be. I want to figure out how to get more power going in, if you don't know what Hearts of Iron is, you have to manage your energy output and input, how many iron, how much metal you're getting, rare metals and materials, and then you have to manage your crude oil. And I don't know how to change the values as to this. We should be getting a lot of power from the hydroelectric dams, but we're not. And I'd like to figure out how to get more power in those regions up around, you know, Yakima and Ellensburg. So, yeah, that's the Cascadian mod. Feel free to leave me a comment here on YouTube, or I guess this is going to be on the Cascadia Now page, so you can leave a comment there or message me, or if you'd like a copy of all these mods, I'll be happy to get them to you and help you try to get it running and we can play. So, thank you. I'm Gunner Lance.